Hello, welcome back to the AGATI Video Podcast. This is a space where we host conversations with different architects, designers, and industry thought leaders to help educate you in your work. I'm your host, Joe Agati, COO and Director of Design here at Agati Furniture. This is a special edition of the podcast because we were able to go on-site to Madison College for a tour and interview. Madison College is a unique Agati customer because they are the single largest owner of pod duos. Allie Adams, a facility designer at Madison College, was kind enough to show us around. Allie has been at the college for 26 years and is accountable for specifying furniture for Madison campus and 6 other campus locations. Allie has specified the pod duo more than any other campus designer in the country. So since Madison College is the largest owner in the world of pod duos, I wanted to get your kind of take on why?
Yeah.
Like what problems are they solving for you?
They solve a magnitude of problems for us. When the college first started, there were really no areas for students to sit at all.
Okay.
As I started remodeling areas and being able to sprinkle in different areas for students to have space outside of the classroom to create that sense of community and involvement and engagement, that's kind of where the pod duos came into play.
Okay.
And they solve, those kinds of issues with having spaces for students to be outside of class, whether it's just in meetings, watching their online class, being engaged in their online class. So it's great because it gives them a little bit of privacy, yet it's still open, and they can be engaged or not engaged with people passing by. Or oftentimes they will meet a group of students, and it's sort of like almost a mini destination, so you can say, hey, I'm at the pods on second floor when you get off the elevator or whatnot. In that sense, it's people are doing all kinds of things at them. I see one person at them up to 4 people in these. So
interesting.
It really has helped create that feeling of community and engagement and involvement, and solves that to give students that kind of space to be in.
I do want to get a little background on you. So how long, I guess, your background's interior design?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So how long have you been doing interior design for?
A long time, many decades. And I've been here at Madison College. I'll be starting my 27th year in July. So before coming here, I worked at a few architecture firms and design firms.
Okay.
So what I do like here, which kind of goes into more of the furniture piece, is I'm living and breathing, taking in the design I'm doing and seeing how things work or don't work for construction projects. I'm seeing how the students, how the staff, how the faculty are using different spaces, different furniture pieces, if what I did was successful or not. Back to the fabric, was that a good choice or a bad choice? So it's nice to be able to see kind of full circle what works, and that's why I've purchased so many and why we are have the largest owner of them, because
in the world,
right? Because they work so well. So when I did the first few, it was like, okay, let's just like with anything I'm doing, see how it works, see how it's received, and it was just phenomenal. So they're always. It was like when I had the first few, like you could see people like coming up to coming down the hall, like hoping they were empty, and then they're like, oh, there's none that are empty. So it's really nice to see that, that people are using them. Even again, staff and faculty are, sitting in them. So it's great, if they're meeting with a student. So there's all kinds of uses.
It's great.
So
just to get a little background on the school itself. So it's a technical college. Are you guys doing like 2 and 4 year degrees typically?
Just 2 years.
2 years,
yeah,
okay.
we even have some programs that are like a 1 year-ish kind of situation. So, but mostly 2 year programs.
And the student population, you were saying it's mostly commuter. You don't offer any dorms, but people do live in the area.
Correct.
Come to school. Is most of your students like from like the Madison and Wisconsin area,
I would
or do you
say
have out of state?
We do have some out of state as well. We do have a really robust athletic program here, so lots of different athletic teams. So we do get students from out of state that come. They're here, whether they transfer to a 4-year after they're here, or they just want to continue their sport they played in high school and before that. So a lot of students will come from even out of state, out of country. We have international students, so sky's the limit, really.
Yeah.
So, and lots of different, the age group of our students is from still in high school, taking a few classes up till, starting a second career kind of thing. So, it's all different ages, which is super cool as well. It's not like your traditional kind of 4-year college. So it's neat to see the depth and breadth of the people and using our spaces and our furniture.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting to see.
Yeah.
I've seen a growing trend, especially in the community college and technical college. Community colleges have always been challenging because like their libraries meet such a diverse kind of set of people, like you're saying, like young to second career. In there. Just to get a little more background on the school itself. So it seems like you guys are always doing some kind of, like we're just going to make me some construction noise in the background here. I can see the ceiling is going to be probably finished up here soon. So you guys usually doing some kind of construction project pretty regularly?
Yeah, we have our whole facilities plan. So we go out like 10 years. So we're kind of in a 3-year, kind of more, that's our like here and now. But then there's like a 10-year facilities plan where it's more of, out further, like what we're going to do. There's just a lot of behind the scenes planning by leadership and different areas of the college, like what programs are growing, what has wait lists, and all of that. So we have a project going on over in our health building for expanding our nursing program, and another one over there for expanding our dental hygienist program. So we just like doubled the amount for that because dental hygienists are in high demand. So just, look at a lot of those trends on that sort of front and what we need to be doing as a college to fit those needs.
In the time period that you've been here, have you seen like a scale up and growth of like different, I'll call it like technical degrees or technical kind of classes? Like you're saying, like now you have more nursing, dental hygienists. Are you guys able to scale and grow and kind of meet demand pretty easily?
It depends on the different areas where they're at. How much, like the space, how much we have of ebb and flow. Like some programs over the years have sunsetted, so we've like absorbed that space into, and have been able to use that space for a different program, which is kind of what happened over at the health building. So we were able, a couple programs sunsetted, the enrollment was, lower, other things that happened within that. Those degrees where some changes had happened. So we were able to take that space over for that. And also, I feel like now we're a technical college, right? We have gen eds and everything as well. A lot of students will come here just to get their gen eds and then transfer to the UW or to any 4-year college, So a lot of students will just start here, to get their gen eds for it. It's economically, it works well. And then being able to transfer to a 4-year school. So I feel like it's kind of interesting because starting as a tech school and then kind of, things morphed and changed, it was just like the trades and all of that kind of thing. And now I feel like in this building, this project that we're sitting in right now is a perfect example. I feel like there is just a big uptick now. And this is, I believe it's my feeling, but I think that's also a big thing right now where the trades are really seeing a huge uptick. We need people in the trades. And it's just really appealing to people coming out of high school because not everybody wants to go to a 4-year school, and you can get a phenomenal job in the trades and hit the ground running. We've got plumbers that are like working in the field and taking classes at the same time, getting all of that experience and kind of working with
So have you seen the student population grow over the last like 5 to 10 years?
It kind of ebbs and flows. Like we did hit a high spot probably 2012-ish, that's kind of when we had our big referendum. And then, it just kind of does ebb and flow with the economy.
Sure, that makes sense.
So it just, it really depends. I don't get a ton into that being in just facilities, but it's great to always, back to the construction projects that we do always have them going on because you have to kind of keep up with the Joneses, sort of. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the built environment is so important.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just, I mean, we have phenomenal programs, we have phenomenal instructors.
Yes.
All of that is fabulous, but when a family comes in, you know, or a group of high school students coming on a field trip, it's really about, you know, what you see when you come here or come to a college, you know, having 2 kids that went to college, like, and going on all those tours like you will be someday. You will see, you know, it's like, oh, this is terrible or whatever. Yes. So, you know, it's important to have nice facilities as well, not just fabulous programs and instructors and things. So it's kind of like the whole package.
Yes.
You know, and keeping up with these amazing high schools students are coming out of and and all of that. So that's very important to us as well, to have, again, the whole package of how it looks, the aesthetics, as well as the meat and potatoes of what the college provides to the student. Yeah,
usually that's sort of like in our design human behavior, I always like end with saying, like, you know, function, durability, all these things, you know, like quality classes and, you know, things like that. It's critical, but if you don't have that, like, last little bit, like, you know, if the building doesn't look nice, if it doesn't look inviting, if the furniture's not wearing well, like, that aesthetic part, I mean, everything just kind of, like, crumbles down
sort of
from there.
Yeah. So.
Do you find that students on campus work more in groups? Because it's interesting, you have a lot of duos, you have a few, the single versions, but it's been pretty much duos that you order. Like, what's the rationale between the two? Over one versus the other?
Yeah, usually I'll just, if I'm in kind of a space crunch, I'll just use the single.
Okay.
If I typically go towards the duos, just because I've seen a lot of, even people working solo, it just gives them, like, space to spread out. They might put their backpack on the other side if they feel like, you know, even though there's great space over here to tuck that kind of stuff. But if they are a person that kind of wants to spread out, they can take it, you know, use all of it. And if they want to work with someone else, like, you know, there's 2 people working together. So again, I've seen
it's interesting here.
4.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Because they'll scooch in
they'll
here.
Scooch in and Well, people always ask me how much weight can it support. I'm like, if you can fit them, it'll be fine.
Yeah, they're very sturdy.
But it's interesting to hear you say that, because I've also noticed something similar where you have a mix on campus. Or not on campus, but actually in the same room. And I was like watching somebody, and it's like, you know, the duo doesn't take up that much more than the single.
Right.
And it doesn't cost like twice as much more. So I always advocate for people, if they're not sure between the two, it's like the duo has this added benefit of, like, if it's a single, it's not a quite completely lost seat, but then you have this added flexibility of the additional seat.
Exactly.
So if you can give up a little bit of the square footage, it seems to be a better, like, bang for buck. Have you found that to
very
be true?
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, they're just, the size of them is good. Like, they're very manageable. And as I've even done, like, construction and remodeling projects, I've had to move them, and they're easy to move, you know, when I have moving companies come, and so I can temporarily move them somewhere else, or it's just unplugging it. You know what I mean? It's so simple. The flexibility of it is great. Nothing has to be dismantled or taken apart. You know, so I've moved them, you know, and then move them back after construction is done. Or I find out, oh, it works really great up in that area. I'm going to leave them there, and I'm going to order some new ones, you know, for the new area. So I've done a little bit of that too. So I feel like that's, again, you can work one to many people in these. So again, more bang for your buck, like you mentioned.
I want to put you in the spot a little bit with fabric. We were talking about that as we were showing us around. And I get that question a lot, obviously, when we're working on a project. And fabric's challenging, right?
Yes.
Since you have a lot of experience of picking fabrics in a high-use environment. What are you using on the pods? What are your kind of go-tos? Like, what would you recommend to people for fabric selection?
Sure. I typically do some sort of vinyl, and I also always look at, like, the double rubs and the durability of the fabric. I have specific manufacturers I've had luck with, so I will stick with those. And, like, I've kind of discovered the sweet spot in my fabrics of what works well. And obviously we have a standard color palette at the college. So as an example, like, this fabric here covers a lot of those colors within our standard palette. So it makes it really easy. We have the greens, we have the oranges, we have the blues, we have the grays, you know, light and dark. So it's sort of, I've picked sort of a chameleon fabric, so I can use it in multiple areas, and I don't have to, like, switch up, you know, oh, this color doesn't go well in this environment or whatever. Or like I said, when I've moved them to different areas during construction or things change because of construction, and I'm like, well, I don't have a spot for those now, but then I'm like, oh, I can move it to somewhere else, and it easily blends right in. It's not like, oh, it's, you know, purple and there's, you know, it's all green over here, whatever.
So what manufacturers are you using that you're finding you're having success with?
I use a lot of Momentum.
Okay.
So I believe my vinyl, this is Momentum, and I think this is oh gosh. You didn't put me on the spot. I think it's a Knoll fabric.
Okay, this is a Knoll textile that you're using. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So you're finding you're having good luck with certain Momentums, certain Knoll textiles.
Yeah. And Palace, I use some Palace on them as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think maybe a Carnegie.
A Carnegie?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So, but pretty much mostly the Momentum has worked well.
Okay.
I think this is like their silica.
Oh,
fabric.
this is a silica?
Yeah.
Okay,
yep.
interesting.
So,
yeah, I know the Momentum silica has been around for a while.
Yeah.
You know, I've always been nervous about the polyurethanes, but the silicas are nice.
Yeah.
They're still newer, but it seems like people are having better luck with them than the polyurethanes.
Yeah.
We've done some airport projects where they're showing the wear, but the way they show wear, it actually it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look worn.
Right.
And so that's where I find with like the vinyls, and if they're not cleaned right, they'll crack. And so the wear means like, oh, I don't want to sit there. That's like, looks like a funky seat. Versus the silicone seem to wear and that like
a little gentler than
it's not distracting.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
And it seems like they're wearing well. I know we've walked around and a lot of them seem to be in study spaces, but there are some by food areas and we can do a lot to make sure the structure stays intact. I mean, the fabric plays a big role in that, but it seems like you're. You know, we talked about it. You haven't had to do any reupholsteries yet on them. Okay.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Nothing, and like, I really haven't had any. There's no like unusual areas of hidden things. I mean, there's the nice spot for the backpacks or whatever here along the side, but there's nothing that like gets caught anywhere.
Okay.
They're like so durable.
Okay.
I've never had, and like I bought a lot of furniture in my time here. I mean, like I mentioned, you know, our main building is 1 million square feet alone.
Yeah.
So that doesn't include any of our other buildings or campuses. So to say that I've never had any issues with these is, you know, kind of thinking about it now that, you know, you mentioned that is pretty amazing because I've had to switch out a lot of different furniture pieces and different furniture in different areas. So
well, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, not to say that we've never had issues with furniture. You know, it happens, but that's
definitely
interesting to hear.
Yeah.
So the school, you said, so it's not just this campus? There's multiple campuses.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. So we have like 5 buildings within the Madison area. Okay. And then we also have satellite campuses at Fort Atkinson, Watertown, Reedsburg, and Portage.
Oh, wow.
And I have, they're much smaller than the main campus here, but I have them in all of those campuses as well. And it was like when I put them in the first campus, of those 4 satellites, like then they were like, well, Allie, you know, we saw that you did some of these cool pods here, like where could we do some of those at our campus, you know, where could we put those, or like when we do the next remodeling project, can we work some of those in, you know? So it's just, it's kind of crazy how they just fit, you know, a need so well, and they're just flexible, and you know, the height is just right. Like, it's really a super sweet spot.
Well, I really appreciate the time for you when sitting for this. This is our first live or in the field kind of blog or vlog, I should say. And I really appreciate you walking us around campus. I usually ask people for like any kind of like words of advice or words of wisdom you could share. I mean, you've been working in facilities at a school for a long time. Any lessons learned that you'd like to impart onto people?
Gosh, good grief. That's a loaded question.
I know, right?
I have lots of words of wisdom. What's
you can share them all. It's okay.
I know. Some might be appropriate, some might not be. No,
I'm sure we have a bleep button.
I think so too. You can edit that out. No, I just think, you know, again, form, function, durability, you know, all of that, just doing what I do here, that's so important. And I feel like it's important anywhere, right? Not just at a college. So, again, I'm hearkening back to this specific product, but Agati as well. You know, it's just the quality, the durability, you know, all of that is just super important. And I mean, you know, when you're looking at money and what you're spending, like you want it to last and be timeless. And I've started buying these, you know, over a decade ago. So I would just say, words of wisdom in that kind of thing. Just, you know, really looking at like, you can buy something like cheap and whatever, but you're going to be replacing it like a million times. So I kind of had that challenge when I came here because I was the first designer here, like that Madison College ever had. So
interesting.
it was kind of, you know, starting out, I kind of had to pave the way for that. So I think, you know, that's really important, is just looking at that holistically, like that what makes sense in the long haul. Yeah. So,
that totally makes sense. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you again for the time today. This was really fun. I really appreciate you making time for us.
Thank you. It was fun. I love it. So, love your product.
Cool.
So it's good.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you.